hello everyone. Thanks so much for your patience. If it's trouble, if it's hard, it's not worth doing, right? I was trying to go live on the computer and ran into all kinds of crazy issues. So, I didn't realize it was going to be so much different than it is on my cell phone. So anyway, welcome to a New Year's revolution. It's time to do something different instead of setting those New Year's resolutions, which we set those resolutions, February comes around and nothing's really happened, and then we're upset with ourselves, and what was the point of all of that? So instead, let's create a revolution and let's do something different with ourselves. So to start, we're going to come into any seated position. Spine is nice and long. Let the eyes be soft. Take a big breath in and let it go. And find your breath, however your breath is flowing for you in this moment. The ease and flow of the breath. Beginning to settle in. Beginning to turn your attention away from everything that's been going on around you, everything that's been going on in your day, and to bring it to the right here and the right now. Riding these waves of breath beneath to-do lists. Riding these waves of breath past thoughts of yesterday, thoughts of even the next moment. Ride this breath all the way home to who you are inside, your authentic self. And as you connect with your authentic self, take 3 deep breaths here. And then bring the hands to rest on the heart. And with hands resting on the heart, begin to connect with your heart. I'm not talking the physical heart, even the emotional heart, even the heart chakra. Let's connect with your true heart. The heart that contains a space that is as vast as all of the universes. Connect with your heart, the wisdom that lives within your heart, the inner knowing. Breathing with this heart. And in this moment, ask the heart if there's anything that it would like to share, anything the heart would like to offer. So let's nourish whatever the heart is offering, even if the heart is offering nothing right now. Let's nourish the seeds, the heart, and our connection with each other across space, across time, with that healing tone of Om. Inhaling. Allow the hands to release. Allow the eyes to softly open. So welcome. Always good to center ourselves, to come together. So if you have questions, comments, feel free to pop them into the chat. I'll repeat those. And if you're watching later on YouTube, feel free to pop your questions in the comment section and we'll come back to those. I'll come back to those. So grab your pen, grab your notebook. I've got some questions for you. So you could go through your year and review all of your year. You can come back to this and do this often. But my first question for you is, what were 3 big wins for you this year? 3 things that you did that were like awesome. These were big wins. Write down 3 big wins. And you don't have to go into great detail. You might want to go back and go into great detail. But for now, write down 3 big wins. So once you've written those 3 big wins down, write down what you did to facilitate, to make those big wins happen in your life. What actions did you take that created those big wins? And if you want to share one of your big wins in the comments, please feel free to share a big win in the comment. We're celebrating those big wins. So as you write down what those big wins were, and what you did to make those happen, and what you did to create those big wins in your life, be totally honest with yourself and write down how you feel about those big wins. How do you feel about having created those big wins in your life? So when we have those big wins, we can feel really celebratory about, like, oh my gosh, look at what I did, look at what I accomplished. But is there a part of you that says, shh, don't tell anybody about those big wins, or, well, you didn't really do anything to create those, those were going to happen anyway? Right? Sometimes there's that part of us that likes to poo-poo what we've done. And this is the part we're going to talk to. So that part talks to us about our self-worth, right? This is where we are with our own self-worth. And I'll be totally frank and honest with you. I personally struggle with self-worth. I have pretty good self-esteem and self-worth, but then there are places in my life, things that I do, where I don't have that self-worth. And so this quote that came to me this week that I absolutely love, that I wanted to share with you because I think it speaks to myself and speaks to a lot of us. And I got this from Elena Brower. When I am consistent and I'm not believing in myself, I am consistently self-sabotaging. I'll say that again. When I am consistent and I'm not believing in myself, I am consistently self-sabotaging. So we can take consistent action towards a goal, whatever goal we might have, and I'm going to diligently do this every day. But if there is a part of us that is saying you're undeserving, or you're not worthy of receiving that, Or who are you? Who are you to think that you can do that in the world? If that part is talking to you, that part is also working behind the scenes and sabotaging your consistent action. So how does that sabotage, think about it for yourself, how does that show up for you? And you can write this down. What are some of the ways that your lack of self-worth, the part of you that thinks you're not good enough, how does that part work against you in your life? What are some of the things it does? Feel free to share those in the comments. If you want to be super brave, share the ways that your lack of self-worth sabotages you in your life. And whatever, we don't even have to know what you're working towards. That self-sabotaging part, that could be the part of you that says, hey, let's play a video game, or let's binge watch this show, or let's fool around, let's scroll forever on Facebook, or let's scroll on Instagram. Maybe there's a part of you that feels like you are undeserving of being well rested and at ease. And so that's the part of you that decides that you need to scroll Instagram for half an hour, 45 minutes, or an hour while you're lying in bed. So we want to acknowledge this part of us that is self-sabotaging. We want to talk to this part of us that is self-sabotaging, that doesn't think that we are worthy, and start to instill a sense of worthiness. So we talk a lot about intention setting in yoga, and in LifeForce yoga in particular. And if an intention or an affirmation, and affirmations are wonderful, I love Louise Hay's work, but, and I don't know who said this, but if the affirmation is not authentic and it's not true to you, you might as well put doilies on dog shit. Because it's not, nothing is going to change, nothing's going to happen. You'll say that affirmation, and the part of you that doesn't believe it says, nope, 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 nope. So that's how that self-worth, that part of us that doesn't believe we're worthy, that's how that part of us is working against our self-worth, is working against us. Whew. So you are worth it. And how are we gonna make this revolution? That's what this is about. A revolution so that we are worth it. Because you know what? When you believe you're worth it, when you believe that you're deserving, you don't need to set resolutions. You will just do what needs to get done. This is not going to happen in a minute. It's not going to happen in 5 minutes. This is a lifelong process. So with your notebook, write down 5 things that you would like to create in the coming year. 5 things that you want to bring into your life. So hello out there in Jersey, hello out there in Maine. You're writing down 5 things that you're creating in your life, that you want to create in your life in the coming year. Don't worry about whether or not they're feasible or possible. Just write those 5 things down that you want to create. So once you've written those 5 things down, pick the one on your list right now that seems the juiciest. Like, oh, this is the one. This is the one that I really want to make happen this year. And if you're not 100% sure, or you're like, oh, all of them are good, just pick one, because you can go back and do this process over and over and over again. So once you've picked that one, that one thing you want to create, soften your eyes and start breathing with it. So begin to imagine as though this was true. Imagine. What does it feel like when this one thing that you have selected that you want to create in the coming year is true? What does it feel like in your body? Maybe you can see it. What does it look like? Keep breathing with it, holding your focus and attention on this one thing that you're working to create. Is there a taste in the mouth? Stay fully present with this, what you're working to create. See it, feel it, breathe it through you. Imagine yourself in that moment. Imagine that it's true. Now that part of you that works against you, the self-sabotaging part that says you're not worth it, that's the part that's going to start to come up with excuses for why. That part of you is going to start saying things like, well, no, you wouldn't be there, or you wouldn't be this, or no, it would look more like this. It's going to start to confuse you. It might even actually send you away from this video and be like, no, this isn't working, this isn't for me. Right? So stay with it. Acknowledge those thoughts as they come up. But keep your focus on what you're working to create. And then start to notice all of the little steps that it took you to get there. So using a really simple example of the lottery, right, with a step before winning the lottery would be, filling in the or watching the TV or looking on the internet. The step before that would be driving home. The step before that would be filling out the bubbles. The step before that would be paying the dollar, or the step before that would be going to the store, whatever it is. Just start to ask, to see, to notice what steps got you there. And you can be writing those steps down, especially those steps that seem pertinent. And again, you can always come back to this. Building a framework for the things that we want to create. Starting with the end result, and then the steps, like the vision, and then backing down to those concrete, simple steps. And the foundation for creating this, the foundation is self-worth. Is that sense of deserving. That you deserve whatever it is that you are working to create. So now that we've done that, take a moment here. Again, soften the eyes. And come to a moment in your life, maybe a memory, maybe a feeling, when you felt really good about yourself, when you felt like your self-esteem was really good, you feel like you deserve things. Come to that memory. What did it feel like in your body when you feel confident? When you feel deserving? What does that feel like in your body? Where do you feel it in your body? And for those of you that are watching, I would love to hear some examples of what it feels like when you feel confident. Just go ahead, type them in, don't worry. What do you feel like when you feel confident, self-assured, when your self-esteem is present, when you feel deserving? For me, I feel a warmth in my body, like especially in my abdomen. I feel quiet in my mind. There's no questioning in my mind when I'm confident. I feel a heart connection with people. My breath is easier. I also feel steady and sure. When I'm not feeling confident or self-assured, I'm feeling anxious. I'm feeling unsteady. So when I am feeling confident, I feel the opposite of those things. Write those down for yourself. So if your eyes are still closed, open them and write down all of the ways that confidence shows up for you. All of the ways that you feel when you are confident. Kat shares that her senses are heightened. So when Kat feels confident, self-assured, her senses are heightened. Yeah, that sense you can see more of what's there, you can hear more of what's present. Yes. When you feel confident and self-assured, write down all of the ways that you feel. Maybe you notice when you feel confident and self-assured how people connect with you. Maybe there's some signs that are external to your internal experience of what it's like when you feel confident, when you feel self-assured. Write those down. Make note of all of those and keep coming back to that. Ask yourself that question repeatedly. When I feel confident, how do I feel internally? You might actually speak differently. I know when I'm confident, I speak clearly, I'm not mumbling. I tend to speak slower. When I'm anxious, my thoughts are muddled. So these are all things to know. And it's good to know how we feel when we feel confident so that we can start to recreate that feeling. So we're going to do a practice with this now. Because part of the homework, I'm giving you homework, and you didn't know that, but I'm giving you homework. Part of the homework for watching this, and I'm going to do this homework with you, I'm going to commit to doing this homework with you, is we're going to create what we call a bhavana. And that it's a bhavana of confidence. We're going to connect to this every day, of worthiness, of self-assured. We're going to connect to those feelings of worthiness every single day at the beginning of our day, before we go out and do anything. So, with that said, can set your pen and your paper aside. Spine is really nice and long. And so we're going to connect with our solar plexus. So our solar plexus is right here. It's the upper abdomen. In yoga, it's our center of self-esteem, our center of confidence and self-worth. Let your hands rest on your solar plexus, that third chakra. As the eyes soften, breathe. Feel your hands resting on that third chakra center. Notice maybe the hands are warm, maybe they're cool. Keep breathing with that third chakra center. Maybe there is a word or two or three, maybe there's a phrase, maybe there's an affirmation statement that arises around self-worth. I am trusting myself. I am worthy. I am understanding that I am worthy and deserving. Again, letting go of the second guessing. What feels natural? What feels right? And if words don't feel right, maybe it's just that feeling. Again, one of the feelings that you identified when you felt confident, when you feel self-assured, when you feel standing within your self-esteem. So the practice then we'll do is the hands will go from resting on the abdomen, and we'll inhale and bring them out in front like a circle right in front of the abdomen. And then on the exhale, you'll draw your hands to rest back on your abdomen. And then we'll inhale the arms out in front, pausing like you're holding that energy of confidence, of worthiness. And then exhale, drawing it to the abdomen. This time we're going to use the soothing sounds of so hum, which mean I am that. Inhale, the arms open. Pause, holding, embracing that energy of self-worth. So hum. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, the arms open. Pausing the breath to embrace this energy of self-worth. So hum. 1 more time. Inhale and expand the arms open, embracing confidence. You are deserving. You are ready to trust in yourself. So hum. And then give yourself a little rock. And then bring your right hand up to your heart, your left hand to the right side of your chest, and hook your thumbs together. We call this Garuda Mudra. And start to alternately tap. And as you're tapping here, begin to tap in confidence. I am becoming more confident, more at ease, I am ready to trust myself. I am understanding that I am enough, that I am doing a great job. I am forgiving of myself. And in those moments where I let that part of me that self-sabotages, that part of me that tells me that I am not good enough, that I am not deserving, when that part of me arises, I welcome it, I embrace it, and I come back to myself, the rest of me that knows, that understands that I am enough, that I am deserving. Take a couple more breaths here, just alternately tapping your hands. And then release the hands into the lap. Allow the eyes to gently open. And take a moment here to write down how that felt for you. Maybe there was an image that came when you were connecting with confidence, that feeling of confidence. Maybe some words, maybe an affirmation. Write down how it felt to do this tapping and to start talking to yourself. What if you imagined that you spoke to yourself the way you might speak to a child that was struggling? How would you talk to a small child that came to you and said, "Oh, I'm terrible and I'm never going to get this right and I'm not good enough and I don't even deserve this"? Would you talk to that child the same way that you talk to yourself? Probably not. And then the question comes back to, why don't you deserve to talk to yourself that way? And this process of discovering the part of us that thinks we don't deserve, that process of discovery is a long process of discovery, and again is not solved in one round of this and one so-hum and oh, I'm all good. I mean, if it is, awesome. Awesome, good for you. Those habits, those self-sabotaging habits, that's what we get into. So we've created our list or written our list of some things that we want to create in the new year. We've welcomed in a practice. And this practice of drawing it in with So-Hum, you can come back to this video and watch that again. Do that every morning and let it be one of the first things you do in the morning. So then let's talk about how to weave that into your day. So first thing in the morning is best. And one of the ways that we can self-sabotage our day is by stressing ourselves out first thing in the morning. And we do this oftentimes by not reviewing our day. So if the night before you sit down and just look at your calendar, what is coming tomorrow? Here's my list of things that I need to do, or I'm going to write on my calendar on my phone where I need to be. You won't be surprised. But, oh my God, I totally forgot about this and I have to do this thing. You won't be surprised. In the beginning you might be, but if you get into the habit of reviewing, here's what needs to be done tomorrow, you won't be surprised when that comes up in your day. So I'm a big fan of list making. I just need to list make. I'm a big fan of scheduling my day. I just need to schedule my day. That works for me. If those things are written out the night before, always the first things I put on my list are my yoga practice, my meditation practice. So those, they may not be the very first things I do in the morning. They're usually not the very first things I do. There's water to be had, bathroom visits, that kind of thing. But they usually happen within the first 20 minutes of my day. One of the other things I like to do is I start off my day so I can move forward with clarity. Because it's not about clarity today and then I'm good for the rest of the year. It's clarity several times a day. So I like to do a little bit of energy cleansing before I sit down for meditation. I also do it before I go to bed at night to kind of clear out other people's stuff. So one way I like to do energy cleansing is I have a spray that I use, that I make, and I just spray it. And I just spray it all around my body. The other way I love to do energy cleansing is just with my hands, and I just run my hands a couple inches in front of my body. And gifted to me by Elena Brower, I've been using lemongrass and yarrow palm as a part of that. So lemongrass oil and yarrow pomegranate oil. And so it's around my body, like in my aura, so that I'm clearing out the residue of other people so that I can be present. And in the morning, because I haven't come into contact with people before I sit, I'm clearing out the residue of my dreams and where my attention has been so that I can sit in that quietness and then connect. So as soon as I finish with this, I will go and create a little post-it note about my confidence practice, and I will put that post-it note up, it'll probably go up on this wall, in my practice space, because this is also my practice space, so that I'm connecting with that. And if my goal then is to create something new, then every day some little piece of that project is going on my calendar. Every day I'm making one step closer to whatever project I'm working on. And I got some big ones that I'm working on. And so every day something has to be done. Even on the weekends, something has to be done as a step forward to that. Because big projects are not created all at once. They're done slowly but surely. And the foundation for those projects to happen is that clarity, is that presence, is that connection. So the clarity, that process that we've gone through today, and inhaling, bring the arms open, embracing that energy of confidence and self-worth. And so hum as you draw it to your abdomen. Thoughts, questions? So if you want more information, if you want to get a hold, if you want to know about my spray that I use, or yarrow palm and lemongrass and what that looks like, you can just send me a message or comment and I'll get back to you and connect you with that. So make your list about the things that you want to create, the energy that you would like to create going forward, the energy of abundance. So maybe you want to have an abundant 2020. So what does abundance look like and feel like? When you feel abundant, what's happening? Maybe you're calm, maybe you feel a little more expansive, maybe you breathe easy, maybe bills are paid. What does abundance look like? If you want to create health in the new year, what does health look like? Oh, health, I'm eating yummy foods, I'm drinking juices, etc., etc. So it doesn't have to be a thing, it can be an energy, it can be a project. So I hope this helped you gain some clarity some ease around things that you would like to create for yourself. And remembering the thing that keeps us from succeeding is that part of us that tells us we're not worthy. So we need to start rewiring our brains to understand that we are worthy, and practice is the way we rewire our brains. Because you are worthy, you do deserve it. No matter how silly that might sound to say that to yourself, you do deserve it. You are worthy. You deserve to have everything you've ever dreamed of. So let's dream big, and let's take those little steps to make those big dreams happen in 2020. And feel free to leave any comments, any questions. Feel free to share this with many other people and revisit this regularly. Revisit it in February. Revisit it in the middle of January when you feel like you've lost your way and you don't want to do the things that you set out to do. So a big thank you to all of you, and namaste from me, Rose, and LifeForce Yoga. And I look forward to more abundant creations with you in 2020 with LifeForce Yoga. So thank you. Namaste.